It's almost 5 p.m. and your brain is already firing. You're wrapping up at work, staring at those last emails, but really you're debating if you're going to stop and grab a bottle on the way home. You told yourself this morning you weren't going to, but here you are again, feeling that tight anxiety in your chest. Everything feels overwhelming, and the only solution seems like a glass of wine. You've had this fight with yourself 100 times, and by 5 p.m., you're already exhausted. Then you walk through the door at home into the chaos of dinner, homework, laundry, a house full of love and mess, and that craving explodes. This is the loop that's keeping you stuck, the one draining you every single day. In this episode, I'm not just giving you tools to stop the craving. I'm going to help you understand it, interrupt it, and reclaim your evenings, your energy, and your sense of control. If your witching hour has become your breaking point, then this episode is going to be your turning point. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hello, my friend. You're listening to Addiction Unlimited, the podcast for high-functioning people who are done starting over, ready to stop drinking and start rebuilding a powerful, intentional life. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, master coach, recovering alcoholic, and the life fixer for people who have already tried everything and are ready for something that actually works. Today's episode is for every one of you who feels that daily pull at 4 or 5 p.m., that internal war that starts at the end of your workday and only gets louder as you head home. If you've ever told yourself, I'm not drinking today, but still find yourself in that familiar, exhausting loop by dinner time, this is the episode that's going to change everything. We're going to break down why your cravings spike in that witching hour, how your brain wires that pattern in without your permission, and most importantly, exactly how to interrupt it. This isn't about willpower. It's about building a system that actually works in real life, especially when your life is full of chaos, noise, responsibility, and pressure. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand why you drink at the end of the day, but you'll have some tools to start choosing something better, something that actually gives you energy instead of draining it. So let's get into this. Let's talk about why this time of day, the witching hour, is such a minefield. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. There's a reason you feel like everything is harder between 4 and 7 p.m. First, your brain is fried. You've been making decisions, solving problems, juggling everyone else's needs all day long, and your brain is literally out of gas. There's a term for this. You've heard me talk about it before. I've done whole episodes about it. Decision fatigue. By late afternoon, your willpower is at its lowest. And that's exactly when the craving hits. And I'll tell you, I see the same thing in my own life outside of drinking. I can crush my meal plan all day long. I'm on track. I'm motivated. I'm eating healthy, doing all the right things. Then the afternoon hits, my brain is fried. My eyes hurt from staring at screens all day. And now I'm supposed to figure out what's for dinner, cook it, and clean up the mess. And all I want is for something to be easy, right? And that's exactly where the wine starts calling you. Not because you want to get drunk, not because you don't know better, but because by 5 p.m., you're done. Your brain is fried, your body is tired, and you just want something to take the edge off. In that moment, drinking feels like the fastest shortcut to relief. Second, you're emotionally overloaded. Whether you work from home or in an office, you've been on all day, managing emails, clients, coworkers, kids, meals, expectations. Your nervous system is overstimulated. And here's the part you're not thinking about at all. You're probably lonely too. Even if you're surrounded by people, you haven't had a second to actually connect with yourself or someone close to you. You're depleted, and alcohol has trained your brain to interpret that depletion as a need for relief. Third, this is a deeply conditioned habit. If you've been drinking in the evenings for years, your brain has built a powerful association. End of day equals wine o'clock. It doesn't matter if you want to stop, that loop is wired in, and it will keep firing until you actively break and rewire it. And finally, this hits your identity. You're the one who holds it all together. You crush it at work. You manage the kids. You pay the bills. You show up for everyone else. But when do you show up for you? That glass of wine at 5 p.m. becomes the only off switch you have, the only transition. And that's the real problem. This isn't that you're weak. It's a survival pattern you never meant to create. The good news is you can unlearn it. You can interrupt it. You can rebuild that hour of your day into something that feeds you instead of draining you. And that's exactly what we're about to do. You need a new system that actually supports you when it counts the most. All right. Now that you understand what's really going on during that 5 p.m. crash, let's talk about what to do about it. This is your tool time where we don't just talk about the problem, we fix it. These are tools you can use today, not someday, and tools that work in the moment, not just in theory. So tool number 1 is the interrupt ritual. And it's exactly what it sounds like. When your brain starts queuing up the craving, you interrupt it physically. Cravings live in the body. So we use the body to break the loop. So you can try, go outside and feel the air on your skin. Put a sour piece of candy in your mouth, like something lemon or really strong mint. Splash cold water on your face or your wrists. Move your body. Walk the block, shake out your hands, do 10 jumping jacks in your living room, anything. The point isn't to distract yourself, it's to shock the system. Break the automatic pattern so your brain has to reset. It only takes a minute and it shifts everything. Okay, tool number 2 is what I call the 5 p.m. flip. You're used to ending your day with alcohol. That glass of wine signals, I'm done, I can exhale. But now we're going to flip that. Ask yourself, what else could feel like a reward or a transition that isn't alcohol? It could be a beautiful alcohol-free drink in a fancy glass. It could be lighting a candle, putting on music, changing into soft clothes. I love changing into comfy, cozy clothes at the end of my day. It's one of my favorite things. It could be 10 minutes of silence with your eyes closed. It could be an extra shower at the end of your day just to decompress and have a few minutes of quiet time. Whatever it is, it has to feel good. This isn't punishment. This is a power move. You're retraining your brain to recognize a new reward. You're saying, this is how we end our day now. This is what peace looks like. Okay, tool number 3, name it to change it. A craving is never just about the drink. It's almost always covering up an emotion. Most of the time, it's about a feeling you haven't named yet. Overwhelm, boredom, anxiety, resentment, pressure, all the stuff that builds up silently throughout the day. So when that craving hits, ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? If that feels tricky, especially if you're newer in sobriety and not used to identifying emotions, because what we do is the second we have any emotion, we immediately drown it in alcohol. So it is challenging to identify emotions. I could not identify a feeling to save my life in the beginning. So if that feels challenging, Use this classic tool we talk about in AA, HALT. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, tired? That simple checklist will give you a quick read on what's really going on under the craving. Because there's nothing wrong. There's no emergency. You're just looking for relief. And if that hits home, I want you to go listen to episode number 376, Relief, Not Relapse. I'll link it in the show notes for you so you can get there right from your podcast app. But it dives deeper into this exact idea, how we reach for alcohol to soothe what we haven't named, and how to find real relief without the regret, right? Again, it's episode 376, Relief, Not Relapse. You'll love it. So when you feel that pull, stop and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? When you name it, you separate yourself from it. It becomes a feeling you're having, not a command you have to follow. And from that place, you get to make a conscious choice. And this is the moment where most people default to checking out, right? But not you. You're here and you're learning to check in. And every time you interrupt the loop, every time you pause, breathe, name what's really going on, or flip the routine, you're not just getting through the craving, you're rewiring your brain. You're teaching it that you're in charge now, that 5 p.m. doesn't mean panic, it means power. And I'm going to share this story with you about my own witching hour, which looked a little different than yours might, right? When I first got sober, I was still bartending. And my first drink of the night was always around 8 p.m. I worked late, so 8 p.m. was my witching hour, and it was hardwired. Behind the bar, we had this cooler, and you always have a cooler behind a bar, right? Because you have to keep the kegs of beer cold and all the chilled liquor. And inside that cooler, I had a little stack of Dixie cups hidden back behind all the bottles. I had a stack of little Dixie cups. And I would literally go into the cooler and close the door and do shots so no one would know and no one could see me. So when I stopped drinking, my brain did not get the memo. And 8 p.m. would roll around and here would go my mind, right? Like, hey, it's 8. What are we doing? Are we having a drink? We usually have a drink right now. It would just go and go. It was relentless. So I started using the 10-minute rule. When that craving hit, I'd distract myself for 10 minutes. I'd wipe down the bar or wash dishes. I'd ask one of my regulars about their kids. I'd organize something, clean out a drawer, like anything to get through those first 10 minutes. Then I would check in again and be like, okay, how do we feel now? And if my brain was still being a jerk, I'd do another 10 minutes. That's it. That's how I got through it. Because here's the truth. Most cravings only last about 20 minutes. If you can ride the wave, if you can hang on long enough to interrupt the autopilot, you win. You prove to your brain that you don't have to obey that pattern anymore. And that's how change starts. Not with huge declarations, but with small moments of power stacked one on top of the next. Every time you interrupt the loop, even if it's just for 10 minutes, you're not just avoiding a drink. You are literally rewiring your brain. And I want to be really clear about what that means, because I know what you're hoping. You want to do it 2 or 3 times and be done and say, oh, cool, I broke the loop, I'm fixed. And that's a lie your brain will tell you because it wants the shortcut. But this isn't about fixing you. It's about training your brain to expect something new. Think about how long you've been practicing your current habit. How many years your brain has learned 5 p.m. equals wine, stress equals a drink, dinner chaos equals I need relief. That loop is deeply ingrained. Your brain doesn't want to let it go overnight. The good news is your brain is designed to change. It's called neuroplasticity. It's your brain's ability to form new connections and learn new patterns. And every time you interrupt the craving, even if you still feel shaky, even if you still want the drink, you're laying down a new neural pathway. And when you do it again tomorrow, the pathway gets stronger. And the next day, stronger still. And eventually, what once felt automatic starts to lose its power. But it takes time. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll feel like a mess. That's okay. That's normal. This is why I say repetition is more important than perfection. You don't have to get it right every single time, but you do have to keep showing up. Because the more you do this, the more you interrupt the loop, flip the routine, name what you're really feeling, the more your brain starts to believe you. And that's how the loop breaks. Not in one heroic moment, but in small, repeated moments of power that add up to a whole new life. You know how there's that one spot in your house, the place you fantasize about all day? For me, it's my bed. Not even kidding. It's my sanctuary. It's my do not disturb unless someone's bleeding place. And ever since I started sleeping on my Cozy Earth sheets, it's gotten borderline ridiculous. I've always loved my bed, but Cozy Earth took it to a whole new level of obsession. These sheets are ridiculous. I didn't even think I cared that much about sheets, and now I won't shut up about them. They're insanely soft. They wash like a dream, and they somehow manage to feel cool and cozy at the same time. Not in a weird sciencey way, just in a this is actual luxury kind of way. And don't get me started on the silk comforter and duvet cover. I just got mine a week ago. Absolute heaven. I crawl in at night and I swear you can hear my whole body sigh like I've just checked into a 5-star hotel. It's that good. Also, the bubble cuddle blanket. I added that a few months ago and game over. It's so soft. It's crazy. I literally can't wait for winter so I can live wrapped up in this thing 24/7 like a couch burrito. So yeah, if I ever go missing, check my bed first. I'm probably wrapped up in Cozy Earth, hiding from the world and recharging my life. I've literally never been so in love with my bed. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your sheets or you just want one space in your home that feels like pure luxury, this is it. Go to cozyearth.com, use my code Angela, and you guys, my discount is 40% off. Get all the things. I'm serious. You will not regret it. cozyearth.com, code Angela for 40% off. And fair warning, once you try these, you'll understand why I never want to get out of bed. Because your bed should be more than a place to sleep. It should be your happy place. And Cozy Earth makes that possible. So here's what I want you to take away from today. That 4 p.m. craving isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that your brain is doing exactly what it's trained to do, right? And that means you have the power to train it differently. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You just need a new system. And now you have one. You've got the interrupt ritual to snap the autopilot, the 5 p.m. flip to rewire the reward, and name it to change it, to take your emotions off mute and back in your control. And even if you don't feel strong yet, you are building strength. One craving at a time, one decision at a time. You're not surviving your day anymore. You're leading it. And I want to touch on this neuroplasticity really quickly. There's an example I always use that I think just kind of helps make it make sense. If I started playing piano today, right? I've never played the piano. I've barely ever touched a piano. I love it, but I don't know what to do with that thing. So if I started playing piano today and I started practicing consistently, Neuroplasticity is my brain will start to create connections to strengthen my piano playing. It will build the little pieces and parts inside to support the new habit. And then the other thing is called pruning. When you stop using pieces and parts, your brain will prune them. Like, oh, okay, you're not doing this anymore. You're not giving into this craving anymore. You're not behaving like this anymore. Well, let me prune those parts because we don't need them. And then we can focus our energy on rebuilding these pieces that you do need, that you are using now. That's neuroplasticity in layman's terms. That's how it makes sense in my head. You are doing brave and powerful work by showing up for yourself like this. It's easy to fall back into old habits. It is much harder to pause, reflect, and try something new, especially when it would be so much easier to just pour a drink and numb out. But you're not doing that today. You're listening, you're learning, you're taking one more step toward being the version of you that doesn't just cope, you lead. So take a breath, shake off the guilt. You're not behind, you're in progress. Remember, this isn't about fixing yourself. It's about learning to support yourself in the moments that matter most. And now you have tools, awareness, and a new way forward. I'm so proud of you for being here. And if I can help you along in any way, you're welcome to book a call with me and see how we can work together, or if my online course might be a good fit for you. There are options to get you going the right direction. You can do that at addictionunlimited.com/call. Of course, that will be in the show notes as always, addictionunlimited.com/call. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.